Summer League practice has started. 5. What's going on, man? Make sure you smash the like button. We're going to talk about Summer League expectations and then dive a little bit into Zion Williamson. Make sure you smash the like button. Let's do it.
First took away. That's the best. Get your money's worth now.
Presented by Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. You've been hurt in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore. Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. They always fight for the win and is always powered by 4D Energy. Shout out Theo's 4D, John Deere, Blue Moon, Theo's. There it is, 5.
I don't have a cup today.
How you doing?
I'm out of cups.
You got a cup? You got a Theo cups?
Yeah, this is a real issue. I need some cups. Theo's, if you're listening.
Damn.
Walk into the storage closet and just like
well, I mean, yeah, you know.
Fuck it. Thank you. My plastic bag.
What's going on, chat? Good to see y'all. Good to hear from y'all. Sorry we're not live last night. I was not feeling well. A lot of other things going on. I'm still not feeling well, but still showing up for the team. Lito, Chaz, 5, and Ross. Let's talk about Summer League first. Lito, I want to hear your thoughts. We'll play a couple clips, but Jeremiah Fears met the press yesterday after his first practice, and this is what he had to say.
Yep, we're going to come out and set a statement, show everybody what New Orleans Pelicans can bring. So every time we step on the court, we're going to go out there, go hard. We're going to play together, and we're going to rack up some dubs.
So I'm not going to say that this guy's, everything we've talked about, but I'm just saying the question was about Jeremiah Fears and what he expects in his first Summer League game, practice and everything. He then turned it into a whole we and team and identity, and this is what we're going to do. What did you think about those, quotes coming from him, especially 18-year-old? Is that still 18? Is that right?
You know what? We as Pelicans fans so used to being disappointed. Like you feel good about something, you feel like you can't even celebrate it right now. Like you so snake bit on what has gone wrong. Like you can't even be like, yeah, man, you know what? He said this shit and I feel good about it. Like, hey, bro, that's your 7th pick, dog. Like if you want to rep him, like rep him. It's refreshing to hear confidence. It's refreshing to hear honesty, especially from like these guys haven't been submersed in this world yet of like politics with sports. He's just like really coming out to play a sport. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck the bullshit. I'm really just coming to hoop, and I feel like we putting our shoes on. My guys better than your guys. We gonna show y'all. I like hearing it.
Yeah. So do I. I'm not saying this guy's he's gonna be an all-star in the next couple years. I'm just saying it's refreshing to hear, because one thing that we talked about, Jared, one thing that is known about Fears and what in his scouting reports and what coaches have said is that his leadership qualities, right? Like he's a leader, on and off the court, and like his first opportunity, he comes out and says that. I feel like he talks the talk and walks the walk kind of player.
Yeah, man. Shout out to his agency. Shout out to his PR team, making sure like don't put this on yourself. Make people feel like you're talking about the team. It's not about me being the 7th pick. It's not about Derik Queen being, whatever pick they use to get him, like that the next year's first round pick to get him. It's about the team and how they're gonna look. Hey, chill out, Cole. I do not look like Fears.
Wow, it's
fucked up. But yeah, like it's about Summer League and gelling and trying to figure out like how they gonna make the varsity roster. I'm saying varsity roster like fucking David Griffin. So that's what it's truly about, like getting better, playing a team style and it's going to be a lot on him, right? He's going to be the guy. He's going to be the catalyst. He's going to have the ball in his. I think Summer League is dominated by guards. They get to make all the decisions, so he's going to have a prominent role in that. But it's about him getting everybody involved.
Yeah, as a point guard should do. Chaz, you mind sharing the shirts you got, by the way, with the Jeremiah Fears? Do you have that still?
Oh, yeah. Especially, it's interesting you brought that up. So I'm having the Summer League sale, 10% off with the code Fearless10, all caps. No, just for the kids. Support the kids this summer. You know what I'm saying? And the shirts here. 4th of July just passed, so we got our patriotic colors popping. We got black. We got some interesting colorways. I got the Derik Queen shirt. dropping soon. Also, I'll be debuting that shortly. I'm trying to figure out how to work this new control panel we got here. All right, there we go.
There we go.
Nice and simple. Shout out to the chat, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button.
Yeah, appreciate that, Chaz. Do you want to talk a little bit about Fears or what Derik Queen had to say in his presser?
Fears. I feel like Fears is off the hook this season, and to me, it really doesn't matter too much what he does or say. Now, I'm a believer in Jeremiah Fears, but if I'm keeping it a buck, it's all eyes on Queen. It's all eyes on Queen. In fact, Jeremiah Fears is cool because even he said it during the interview. Very well-spoken young man said in the interview, he was just like, just thinking like, damn, this is supposed to be my senior year in high school or I believe, or freshman year in college. So it's insane to think about, and all the controversy surrounding the number 13 pick kind of casts a bit of a shadow on Jeremiah Fears. So he'll get to make his mistakes in summer league without people saying, damn, whatever, like, you'll respect his growth trajectory. Versus with Queen, it's like I feel a little more concerned for him mentally because it's like, damn, you got to hit the ground running.
So you bring up an interesting point. We'll hear Ross's thoughts on Jeremiah Fears here in a second. One thing I do want to mention, though, is that Brewer head coach Corey Brewer said that first thoughts about Jeremiah Fears, he's extremely fast. Great ball handling, but he's also a leader on the court. So he had a lot of good things to say. But Ross, real quick on Jeremiah Fears, because I do want to get to Derik Queen, because I do think, to Chaz's point, he's the main focus point for me in summer league.
Yeah, look, I'm excited to watch Fears play, and it's interesting because, like, and I don't know whether maybe everybody thinks this about their summer. I kind of feel like the Pelicans are rolling out like a pretty, like, as far as summer league rosters go, like a pretty damn good one. Yeah. And so I'm interested to see. I mean, obviously Fears had a lot on his plate at Oklahoma last year, a lot of offensive responsibilities, and I think he's a better passer than people might realize from what I watch, and I'm really curious how that manifests itself like in these games, because Five is right. It's gonna. These games are mostly fast paced. They're like glorified pickup games, basically. And you've got Yves and you've got Queen and you've got Reeves is a really good shooter. Like, there are other good players on the court with him. And I'm just curious. I'm curious to see, because this is a situation where, like, you don't have to do everything. Like, let's start to see what it looks like. Let's see how he looks in pick and roll playing with Yves. Like, those two guys could start. I mean, Yves probably will, but like, this could be a combo you're going to see, come October. So I think that's the part that I'm excited about.
Go ahead, Jared. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, man. I think Ross is truthfully right. This is why I think Hawk is making a mistake not, trying to play in summer league. Like, you don't have to dribble the basketball because
I was just thinking about this today,
bro. Like, you're gonna get a lot of wide open looks from three. Like, this would be a premier time to be on the court.
Damn, Jared, you're a smart guy, man. So I want to talk about the Derik Queen quotes, and there's a clip from yesterday that I posted. I didn't think it was like this big of a deal, but it did blow up out of kind of proportion. But this is what Derik Queen had to say when he met the press yesterday.
Told you that they're going to allow you to kind of.
Before I get into it, Will Guillory asks, he asked Coach Brewer, is Coach Brewer going to allow you to play with the freedom that you did have at Maryland?
Told you that they're going to allow you to kind of have the freedom with the ball that you had as much as at Maryland?
For summer league, yeah, but Coach Green didn't say nothing yet. So for summer league, yeah.
Okay, so
Black for that.
Well, I want to hear your first thoughts, Leo, but I wanted to say something real quick. Because I do think it's interesting. I do think that I'm a little concerned that Willie Green has not yet talked to Derik Queen about how he wants to play. And I know it's 4 months out. I understand that. You're about to play a game. I understand that. But there's got to be some type of idea of how you want to play with Derik Queen. His strength is playmaking ability and IQ and passing. I want to play to his strengths. So I know Coach Brewer and their staff is going to play to Derik Queen's strengths. is Willie Green going to? So I don't know. What did you think about that, Lito? Because a lot of people had some interesting comments about that clip.
As far as like what he said, or like just the Willie Green.
Yeah, I mean, what he said, the Willie Green thing. Like, I don't know why it took off the way it did. I mean, I don't think he said anything like crazy, but I do. You don't find it weird that Queen and you okay there? You don't find it weird that Queen and Willie haven't talked about a certain play style?
Are we talking about Willie Green? Like, what you mean? Do I find it weird? Like, he hasn't talked to the fucking guys who've been here for 7 years about a play style. Why would he talk about a dude who's been here for 2 weeks? No,
well, the reason why is because you gave up a lot to get him in this year's draft. There's been a lot of backlash on it. I would think you would want to be on the same page as this guy, because what Chaz just said is all eyes are on Queen. Like, this got to be your guy. We talk about foundation and setting a standard day one.
Yeah,
it's day one.
Yeah,
it's day one. How is he going to play? How do we want to use Derik Queen in this offense? Obviously, Summer League will be different than the NBA, but you still want to have some type of, just look at how he can look on a basketball court.
Is this a new Willie Green we talking about though? Like, no. is this a? I'm confused. Why we? Is this? Did he get redrafted? Did we trade up a couple picks for Willie Green? Because I'm confused on. He doesn't run plays for Trey Murphy. He has a generational talent that he parks in the corner. Who the fuck is Derik Queen if you're thinking about it in that aspect of it? Like, no, I'm not surprised. This is going swimmingly. This is the person who I thought, like, no.
Okay, so not surprised, Chaz.
I think Willie Green's an imbecile.
All right, Jarrett.
Likewise.
Okay, Ross.
I didn't expect Willie Green to have had any plan for him. I think what is very surprising, and I think if you kind of read between the lines, but was sort of like tongue in cheek from what Derik Queen said there, is that he didn't even co-sign the fact that Corey Brewer was like, "Hey, look, man, just go play. Like, go be you in summer league, play basketball the way you know how to play." Like, Willie didn't even like the fact that he wasn't like, Coach Green just kind of echoed what Coach Brewer said about just go play your game in summer league, be the best version of you, handle the basketball, initiate off, and do all the things that I'm comfortable doing right now. We'll get into it later, but like the fact that to me that was a weird version of being like, I don't know what Coach Green is gonna do. I don't even know if he's gonna come to the games, but Corey said this. Like,
go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, my bad. Truthfully, I think Willie doesn't understand like strategy, right? Like if you're about to lose your job, right? If you thought about this possibly being my last year, wouldn't you want to attach yourself to the thing that they've invested in? So wouldn't you want to help that thing be better as much as possible? So you can look like you're an asset to the thing that's getting better and that they've invested in.
Like, Jared, I'm with you because I'm gonna get to you in a second here, Chaz. Because I do think there's confusion here. That's what I was trying to get at, is that I'm not saying that we have to know day one what Derik Queen is going to be, but I do expect the head coach of the team to be like, yeah, bro, I want him playing like this. This is how he's going to play. We're going to play through Derik Queen. He's to be our playmaker on this. He's sometimes will play the 4, bring up the ball a couple times. I don't know, but for Queen to answer the question like that was a little alarming to me. Lito, then Chaz.
Five said Willie Green to be an asset. Willie Green is 3 letters in that sentence. He ain't the set part. I feel like, listen, people talk about traded up for Queen as far as like the Pelicans' biggest blunder this offseason. Me, the biggest blunder this offseason is Willie Green still being a coach. That's the most failed part of this whole regime so far. Like, because you had the opportunity to come in and not only get the fans behind you, but get the guys who have been here playing under this coach. You breathe new life into them, and you didn't. Like, am I surprised that Willie Green? Let me ask you this: did he reach out to Antonio Reeves and Carlo? Did he reach out to No. Like, where was he with Kyra Lewis? Like, no, this is going as planned. To me, this is a big failure. I wouldn't even be surprised if Willie Green has even spoken to them.
That's what it sounded like. Go ahead, Chaz. Which is crazy.
Play a short clip, and while the clip's running, can we get the likes up? We got 163 people in here. Can we get at least 100 likes? You know what I'm saying? Can we get some likes? Get some bitch ass. But I'm about to play this real.
I am not that good of a coach.
How to just be, more successful when y'all are playing together.
We got to understand that talent isn't gonna just win basketball games. It will win some basketball games, but we got to put things together and make sure that all of us are being effective on a really, really high level at all times.
I am not that good of a coach.
Individually, we're talented. CJ, myself, Zion, Trey, Najee, JV. We got a lot of guys that's talented. We gotta put it together. We gotta be connected. We gotta know at certain points of the game. We gotta know who's hot. We gotta know where to get people to basketball. We gotta know every single thing about each other and how to make each other tick. We got to communicate a little bit more. We can do a lot of things a lot better. I think this year we just showed our talent, and we were able to get by with it sometimes.
I am not that good of a coach.
We didn't execute nothing. We just got embarrassed. That's really it. And it came down to competing, and we have to have a different approach, starting with the game plans and executing them in practice, then executing them in the games. We can't really sit here and be like, oh, this guy's in, this guy's out. I know Willie's got it hard for as the starting lineups. I think it's like been 15 or something. But at the end of the day, that shouldn't be an excuse for us players to, have an identity of competing each and every night.
I am not that good of a coach.
Games, but it's how you lose games. And we didn't compete. We didn't execute. From offense, defense, when the game plans was horrible.
I am not that good of a coach.
As far as us losing the game, it's just X's and O's throughout the game that we just got to be better at. No excuse for it. Just got to be better at it.
I am not that good of a coach.
I wish we could have adjusted better, for sure. But I definitely wish we could have adjusted better.
I am not that good of a coach.
I just want to say this, right? Shout out to Mont Dog. Always in the building. Mont Dog say, but let y'all tell it Ingram was the problem. Okay. I try to never talk about Brandon Ingram anymore. But Brandon Ingram complaining about Willie Green is like a motherfucker with a knitting degree complaining about his student loan debt. Like, how do you expect me to pay off these student loans? Like, motherfucker, you got a degree in knitting. Brandon Ingram hired this doofusy fuck. Brandon Ingram ain't played since 2024, and he had the audacity to complain. Get the fuck, both of y'all. You should have took him with you. He should have been in your suitcase. It was Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. Them motherfuckers should have left together when this was over. That's why I kept saying they operate as a tandem. You got to get them both out of here. And they kept one of these doofusy fucks. But, Brandon ain't even in the country no more. You know how bad you got to be to get kicked out of the country? It's him and what's Chavez Jr. Is it Brandon and Julio Chavez Jr.? Both of them out of the country right now. Moving on.
And Michael Porter, brother.
Yeah, Michael Porter, brother.
Hey, hold on, Justin. Before you
I was muted. Go ahead.
No, before you move on, I like to address this.
Okay.
I like to address this. Hold on, let me find a follow-up real quick. Hold on. 1 second.
I think we're both pretty positive on Queen and Fears, but
I don't think we talking about. He ain't talking about that. Hold on. Let's. All right. Here we go. And this is the follow-up. We sound like crybabies. Give Green a team when his core players actually play together. All right. You sound dumb as fuck. I want to know. I would like to know, what has Willie Green shown you in his 10-year year here, right? That he's shown you that he is a good coach. Bruh, you look at I didn't even realize Brandon Ingram was saying all of that shit. Like he was literally Brandon was crying for help. He wanted help from us. Like he wanted somebody to listen to how bad Willie Green was as a coach. DeJounte was here for a cup of coffee. He knew Willie Green was a bad coach at the press conference. Like
the opening, the welcome press conference.
Yes. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Wavy? That ain't wave like, bro. That ain't wave like. You need to retire that wave. That's old.
Ross, Jared, anything? Nothing.
Yeah, no. I sometimes I'm just speechless. I don't know. Because I go back and forth between these like this notion of you can't be this bad and like inept in so many aspects of coaching, right? Of being a leader, of coaching, all this, like, and keep your job. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's times where I tell myself, like, we got to be missing something, right? Like, we must be missing something because this just doesn't happen. I struggle to think of another scenario in any pro sport where, like, this has happened. There are organizations that have been bad for 30, 40 years. That's happened. There have been organizations that have made bad moves or it's dysfunction. This has all happened before. I can't think of a situation though where like it's almost become universally accepted that like, yeah, no, I mean, they just got this. I mean, they're just running somebody out there at coach. I mean, that not really a great leader, doesn't really seem to have a high basketball acumen. He's not a specialist in a sense of like, he's really good at one thing. And I just like we got to be missing something. Like there's just no way, right? Like what are we like? What am I missing? And I hate to talk. I really don't want to sit here and talk about Willie Green for a whole show, but
no,
like
I really don't.
It's just unbelievable that there's. I just can so rarely find a positive. I think that for me is like a blind squirrel finds a nut, and he just can't seem to find one. Like
I got him. That was. But Wavy, you got it. You're moving the goalposts. A lot of people. What does he do well? Right. What do you think, in your opinion, what does head coach Willie Green do well? That's all I want to know. We could talk about the core. We can talk about 49 wins. What was the stat the other day? Someone tagged us in. I mean, Chaz, do you have the tweet of how many blown leads they had in the 49 win season?
Man,
the win probability. There's just a lot of data out there that he's not that good of a coach. And then if you don't want to believe in the data, that's fine. Go listen to what the players are saying in the post-game pressers. We're not making this shit up. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Y'all say, well, Willie this and Willie that.
Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate
you, Jesse.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jesse. Greg brought up an interesting point. If they fire Willie 15 games in the season, they pay Borrego his current low salary for an entire season, interim head coach, first 5 to 10 million pre-planned.
Gracias, Jesse.
Jesse, very good point.
Maybe I do want to answer
that. Well, that was Griff's plan, but he would have had a year and a half left to pay out Willie Green. Jesse, I do believe this because there were reports saying Mark Stein saying that Mike Brown, being the Knicks head coach, really wanted Borrego to be his lead assistant. He's a lead assistant on the Pelicans, and the Pelicans can block that move if it's a lateral move to another team, which that would be. So it's very clear that the Pelicans want to have James Borrego for a situation like that, in which I think it will play out like that. Jared, I did want to ask you, like, moving on, who is your biggest roster surprise that is on the roster or currently off the roster for Summer League?
I mean, again, it's between Antonio Reeves and Jordan Hawkins, right? We didn't know what to expect. We just, we got a graphic and it popped up with Antonio Reeves' name at the end. It was, how do you even, you have to take a step back and like, okay, what is the plan here? Did y'all have like some under the table deal? Is Joe just trying to cut costs and like, all right, let's play this out. And if someone wants you, they'll pick you up. You can still be on our staff. Maybe that was like, maybe an assistant coach saying like, hey, can we just keep him for summer league or something like that. I don't know, but that was a surprise. But also, Jordan Hawkins just not playing in summer league. I don't think he understands the magnitude of what this year could possibly mean for his development. He needs to play. Like, you had a terrible showing last year in summer league. And if you want to get traded, this would be a great opportunity for you to, showcase your skills in a manner where all the NBA teams are most NBA teams are in one place, right? Like, let's say 80% of executives are in one place. Well, that's where you want to be if you're Jordan Hawkins, and I think it's just a miss from my standpoint on him.
Ross,
for the exact same reason that Five just mentioned at the end there, with all the team's executives being there, Carlo not being on the roster is a huge surprise to me, because I thought there were actually some positive moments from Carlo at the end of last season, and you see it with every team. I'm not with every team, but you see it pretty much every year in summer league. Like Khalil Ware is playing for the Heat in summer league right now, and I mean, you see this every year. But those guys that they get an opportunity at the end of the previous season, show a little life, and then they come in, play 1 or 2 games of summer league, and right away, like, either that he's too good, like this player is just too good for summer league at this point, or he's got enough to his game where he really doesn't need to be here, but I need to see it for 2 games. And the fact that Carlo wasn't on there, especially knowing that this team probably needs help in other places, it would have been, one, a great opportunity to prove, like proof of concept, hey, Carlo actually was what some of those positives were at the end of last year. And 2, you should want other team executives to see a player like that. Every team is looking for front court shooting. Every team is looking for front court athleticism. I think to not have him play and hopefully showcase either for you or for another team some of the positives you saw at the end of the last year is just a huge miss.
So I wanted to bring up this point, Lito. We were talking with Lito and Chaz, because we were talking about the Antonio Reeves thing.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, appreciate you, Jeffrey. And I'm gonna get to the super chats later as well, but appreciate the super chats as well. Lito, we'll start with you first, because we were talking about this, right? So Antonio Reeves, there was confusion, right? You let him go, but he's back on the summer league roster. You're a very young team. You're looking for playing time with guards, right? With Fears, a lot of whatever it is, a lot of young guards. I don't have the roster in front of me. What I'm just saying, though, is that, do you think the coaching staff is going to give Reeves an opportunity to play, considering we just cut him? Or, like, how do you think that's going to work?
I had to call you to get an understanding earlier, because I had no idea. Like, I don't understand it at all. It's kind of like he's basically showcasing himself for his next team. If that's the case, I mean, maybe he's playing for a 2-way here. I guess that could also be a thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, I think that they will give him an opportunity, though, to do so. I mean, like, it's not like Reeves is a talented player, and he has a lot of intangibles that are good. And I get it. He's not a Joe Dumars guy. He wasn't drafted by Joe. It was a 2nd round pick. So Joe's not really, like, it's not a loss in his eyes. I don't know, bro, but you know what? Before you move on, let me just say this, Justin, real quick. You don't feel well. Everybody up here, like, we don't feel well. We tired. It's Monday, bro. Like, I just want to say, Wavy, get the fuck out of here. Your name sucks. You don't even know who Max B is. Like, you ain't even a wave guy. Like, you don't even respect that, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
It's hard to piss off too. Chaz, so just look at the guards. You got Trey Alexander, you got Fears, Hunter, Quinoa. I can't pronounce his last name. I'm sorry, Lester.
Quinones,
yes.
Did you say quinoa? You gotta do better than that.
Reeves. Do you think Reeves is going to play over Alexander? Do you think he'll play over Fears? Do you think he'll even play over Hunter?
Hunter Dickinson?
No, Chase Hunter from Clemson. They just signed him too.
Oh, I think Reeves is kind of auditioning for an Exhibit 10 contract. I don't necessarily think many of those guys, his roster spot and his contract was due to be guaranteed in a few days. I think this team is sitting at like 14 guaranteed roster spots right now. I think that, that spot was a little too valuable for Antonio Reeves at this stage. I think, since this roster is the way it is, I'm going to just use these words, I don't give a fuck, until you get rid of Hawkins and Jose, I think Antonio Reeves is kind of on the outside looking in. Even like with Reeves, I don't really think it matters what, like if Antonio Reeves gets minutes in the, he ain't what's homie Tony Carr, what was dude's name? He ain't that guy, or Pierre Jackson. Like he's a real, he's a NBA, a real NBA level player. They got him on the, speed dial. If something that needs to happen, he'll probably be with the G League. But all them other dudes like Keon Brooks and Quesadilla and all them other dudes, them dudes on the outside looking in. I think even for Carlo and Hawkins, I think there's two reasons you don't play guys like that, right? For one, for Carlo, like much to Ross's point, it's like how teams need that shooting athletic big. It's like shit, so do the Pelicans. And it's like you don't want him to go out there and twist his ankle because you already got a weird front court, so leave him alone. And if I'm Hawkins, if I'm the team, I said this last season, I don't want nobody to see Jordan Hawkins. Like, I just don't want nobody to see him. I want the last time you saw him or your last thought of him being, hey, wasn't that guy on UConn? He won the title and he had a couple 30-point games. I just want to leave it like that. Because the more you see him, I think the more it's going to be like, nah. Like, I at least want to be able to get a couple seconds for him at this stage. I don't think you will, but I think that's probably more the reason that you don't see him. Personally, I wouldn't have played Messi either, personally.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a surprise too. There's a lot of surprising, interesting moves here. But you know what, Chaz, to that point though, I do want to see how Queen and Yves look. I think Yves will get 2 games max, and then I think he'll be done. Which leads to the next, segue into this. Jarrett, we'll start with you, then Ross. We had like just a graphic made up today about who will lead the team in points per game, who will be the MVP, who will be the biggest surprise. Jarrett, you had Peavy, Micah Peavy, their second round pick, 40th pick from Georgetown.
Got big money today. Congratulations.
He did sign his contract. He was the 14th roster spot, as Chaz mentioned earlier in the show. But he had an interesting soundbite today, just talking about how he hangs his hat on defense. And obviously, a guy like Corey Brewer, same mindset. I think those two can really gel in summer league. I'm really, you had PV, me and you both had PV as our biggest surprise. I'm really excited to watch him play.
Yeah, his physicality is a thing that jumps off the screen, right? His ability to play through the passing lanes. You're not bumping him off the spot. You're not really like just moving him. Again, this is for a team in the Pelicans that has been pretty fragile, right? They're not physically imposing at times, and the NBA is moving more towards that right now, in my opinion. Like, you have to be strong, like strong men again. And this finesse thing isn't necessarily paying dividends for players. So a player like this reminds me of a Najee in a sense too. Like, right? He plays a lot of his offensive game inside the paint at the free throw line, but he wants to play defense, get out in transition and run. So a connector, but yet can be physical and guard guys. I'd say, let's say 2 through 4 if need be. I think 1s are probably too quick for him, but physically he can play NBA basketball.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see him. Another guy we've talked about or haven't talked about, but was a surprising name, Ross, was Hunter Dickinson. Are you expecting much from him? Because, right, mostly Yves will get those minutes in the first 2 games, but I'm guessing Dickinson will get a look here in these last 2 games. I feel like he was like a 7-year senior in college. I feel like he was like one of those guys you saw for 7 straight years. So he's definitely a vet on this team. What are you expecting from either him, and you had your biggest surprise is Derik Queen for some leagues. So I want you to elaborate a little bit on that as well.
Yeah, so for Dickinson, I actually am expecting him to like look pretty good when he plays. I think he's just better than people realize. I mean, just for comparison, say like you look at some of the people we've run out there as backup 5s these last few years. I mean, I think Hunter Dickinson is like levels better than Clubfoot. His name was escaping me last time. Yeah, Yeah, like I think Dickinson is like levels better than a player like that. So when you're talking about like, what do I think he's going to look like in summer league? Like I think he probably look pretty good. He's kind of a polished player. He rebounds, physical. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I could see him at some point making an NBA roster and getting back up 5 minutes for someone. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I think he even shot the ball okay last year.
Speaking of shooting, Jarrett, by the way, I wanted to cut you because I was looking up these stats. Mike P did shoot 40% from deep too. Because you talk about defensively, he's going to bring it defensively, but offensively he can play too.
that college 3-point line is a little different.
Yeah, but hey, he knocked down 35% in summer league. I'll be happy.
He took on more of an offensive role when Thomas Sober went down. So he's solid, solid glue guy type player.
Yeah. And Ross, you said your biggest surprise was Derik Queen.
Yeah, look, I think there's a lot of noise around what the team gave up to get Derik Queen, and rightfully so. And I think because of that, there's almost this feeling, maybe not amongst like Pelicans fans, but it almost feels a little bit like people want him to fail so they can say, I told you so. Like, oh, look, the Pelicans screwed it up again, this, that, and the other. I think people are going to be surprised at how good he is, like at how just talented. I think they're going to run the offense through him. I think he's going to – I believe – again, this is just listen to people talk, reading something. I think there are a lot of people that have not seen him play and that think he's this big lumbering back to the basket player. And I think they're going to see him handle the ball. I think they're going to see him play from the mid post, play from extended wing, play from the elbow, be able to like initiate. I think they're going to see things that they didn't realize from a skill set perspective that are going to really surprise them. Like I think he's going to dominate in a setting like this. I really do. Because I think he's a lot more physical than people realize, and I think he's a lot more skilled than people realize.
And Chaz, you had for Summer League MVP Derik Queen.
Yeah, I think he's in Summer League, everybody was like it's like the 23 and up league. This dude, what's his name? Lester Gwyneth Noches. He got the third two-way spot. He's out of here. Like I just looked, I didn't realize he's 25 years old now. I think they're gonna get old Lester out of here, man. I hope he ball out though. It's up to him and Antonio probably for that third two-way spot. So let the best man win. But yeah, I think Queen, he's his game is a little more adult, if that makes sense. He's polished. Again, going in with a major chip on the shoulder. He's another guy that I just need to see one or two games. Let's let's not risk it, because I have a bit of a theory about Jeremiah Fears and why you probably won't see a lot of him this year. But speaking of Queen, so I got these shirts and see Derik Queen, that's a scepter with the globe in it. And, the globe says New Orleans, Louisiana. Derik Queen, is a Maryland guy. I'm selling these for the kids. Got the red, white, and blue per usual. I'm a Patriot. Y'all go to that link in the description and support Derik Queen. But and also to speak on Hunter Dickinson, the only knock on him at Kansas, they say he was kind of like, he was a little not too physical, basically. And they were just like, oh, he's 7'2". They pretty much blamed him for everything that was going wrong at Kansas. But I think, and you give them guys like that, you give them a certain role, and maybe they'll be solid. I do think the Pelicans still need quite a bit of front room help. I said front court help, and hopefully it works out for several of these guys.
Yeah, Lito, with Queen and Yves, what are you most, intrigued of watching? Because they both talked about each other in the last couple of days. Queen, quote, said, getting it right here. Yves is going to love playing with me because I'm just going to keep throwing him lobs. Thoughts on that?
I believe him.
I believe him too.
I've been saying Queen is literally the most skilled passer on the team right now. Like day one, most skilled passer on the team, pound for pound. Like he is the most skilled passer on the team. I'm looking forward to watching Yves though, bro. Like, to be honest, I
A lot of people say it looks noticeably bigger. He says he's gotten stronger. Even he said that. Brewer said that. Go ahead.
Nah, man, I'm excited to watch him dominate, man. Like, man, watching his summer workout videos and shit like that. And shout out to him. As a Pelicans fan, we don't get a lot of that. Like, we don't get a lot of people who willing to share off-season workout videos. Like, it's the little things that endept you to the franchise and the fans. Like, people just want to see like what you working on. See he's working on his outside shot. You and I talked a bunch about things he needed to improve on. I told you all he needed to do was work on his face up, and I've seen videos of him one dribble, jab, swing through, goal, like rips, like things like that, which he can use his quick step and his athleticism to get to. I think Yves is gonna have like a very dominant summer league.
How many games do you need to see from him?
How many do I need to see? I would like to see 2. I'd like to see 2.
To me, if he dominates game 1, I'm good. To me, if he dominates game 1, he goes off like a double-double, has like whatever, 22 and 12 or something like that. Do I need to see a second game of Yves? Because I do want to see Dickinson play. I do. I know what Yves can do.
I think though, and I understand that, but you're not okay. Let's put this in let's put this in retrospect. For basketball wise, Hunter has been playing basketball longer than Yves, right? Yves is still he's been playing raw
basketball longer in college than
that's what I'm saying. Yves is still a relatively young talent who just started hooping. I still think he needs to play all the basketball that he can play. We had a show where Grell was asking us how does Fears cut down on turnovers going forward, right? The only way you get that in-game type ability and feel confident is to play.
No, that's fair. I'm a big advocate of that. Jared, you want to say that? You're good. You're good.
No, to that, I think he needs to play 2 games. At least have say one game you go 22 and 12, right? But is it a fluke? Like, are we like, okay, can you do it again? Again, this would be like his last year if he does it again, right? If he goes 22 and 12 and then the next game goes 26 and 10, like, you're like, okay, this is who Yves can be, or not, not the 22, 26 points, but this is a foundation and he's building his confidence against lesser talented people. Now you can solidify him to say, all right, we're good there. I don't think one game is enough. I would like to see him really dominate 2 games back to back and really prove himself.
You know how old Hunter Dickinson is? Y'all know how old he is?
Who that?
23.
Dickinson. He's going to turn 25 in November.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Let me ask y'all this, because I think I have a different opinion of Yves, like what I expect to see. You think he can score 25 points a game twice with this roster in Summer League?
No.
I don't either. So for that, and I think that I ask because I don't need to see him score 25 points twice.
Fair.
I'm just saying, like, high level games from him.
Yeah, like if he goes 7 for 8 and has 16 points and 15 rebounds and blocks a couple shots, and it's just clear that, like, hey, I mean, if he took more, like it, I think you can see. I could see what I need to see from Yves without him scoring. Like, I just don't think he's going to score. I don't think he can score 25 or 30 like in a Summer League environment.
I don't know. I think he could. Go ahead, Lito. Or Jared Lito.
The stats won't matter. I really want to see him screen. That's the one thing I really want to see. Can you screen and rebound? That's it.
That's fair.
I care nothing about how many points he scores. I literally want to see him run and defend the rim. That's all I want to see him do. When I say dominate, like, that's what I'm talking about.
If he blocks 6 shots in the first game, I would pack his bags and just be like, hey, we will see you in New Orleans in 3 months.
Yeah, one thing I don't question ever about Misi is his work ethic. He's one of the hardest workers on the team. All right, so 260 people in here. let's get to a couple comments before we get to the Zion stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about him, then wrap up the show. Appreciate all the members, super chats. Zico saying Big Z on the block now. I ain't talking about posting up. Zico $5 super chat. Can I get a gangbang and Smokey for number 1? What the hell are those pics going around Twitter? Took me a second. Tennessee member for 6 months. Hope Green bullies Bill into a full-time youth minister.
Funny,
okay.
You want me to play the game joint for Zeke?
Yeah, go ahead.
Smoking that smoke, doing that coke, dealing that dope, giving up hope, gang banging.
It's a little before it's time.
Hadn't heard that one in a minute.
Well, Smokey's in heat right now. Yeah. Jesse, appreciate the super chat. Grub brought up an interesting point. They fired Willie 15 games in. So yeah, we said we weren't talking about this, but we did kind of talk about this. But Chaz, do you think this is the most realistic option for this team this year? Is to fire Willie midway through the season? Because what if they start off good? What if they start off 10-6? Or they start off 15-8?
I don't see it happening. The more I thought to zoom out, I don't see it happening. Reason being is because I don't think this team is far from being solid to good. And I think if you're healthy, the sum of your parts will kind of carry you to being okay. Now, I don't think having a good record keeps you from getting fired though, because look at what happened with Milwaukee. They fire him motherfucker, just off GP. But or even with Denver, Memphis, all those teams, they fired their coaches with winning records. But I see that just as I just see that as too much of a lateral move and giving yourself an excuse within the season. I always say firing Willie was an off-season thing.
That's fair. Jarrett, honest opinion, why do you think the Pelicans are not letting Borrego go to the Knicks then? And make the lateral move?
Just in case, right? Hey, you have an opportunity to go get a head coaching job, go ahead. But nah, I think you're the better talent anyway. Well, and I think this gives Joe a better opportunity to evaluate some things. Let's say 15 games in, hopefully he'll have enough data to make that decision based on his own ideas rather than, previous comments and concerns. No, he'll be in the thick of it and then he can make that decision.
Fair. Jeff, appreciate the $20 super chat. My dog's name says it all like a little dog and he talking about BI with that little pink thing hanging out.
That's
God damn.
Wow. Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
I didn't know where Jeffrey was going with.
I gotta read the fucking.
All right, Jeffrey. Shit. Appreciate the dub, brother. God,
that's from
my dog. You gotta send a $40 super chat and respond. I wouldn't take that shit. Yeah, fuck that.
Lita, what are your thoughts on this comment? There's no room on this roster for Queen and Zion.
So you think they drafted him at 13? And
there are a lot of thoughts about that.
I mean, we pod? What we doing? We summer pod?
Me and you were both sick. I mean, I don't know. You seem pissed off. If you want to pod, I mean, you can pod. I mean, fuck it. I mean, shit.
I see the vision. I understand what you're getting at, intro. I get it. I think for me, there was a comment where Cleve said, y'all can't have it both ways. You say Zion is a superstar. If you heard me tell it, Cleve, this whole shit Zion's fault. Everything that has gone wrong is Zion's fault. The Pelicans are in a scenario of unrealistic and untapped potential and promise that have not been had because that dude wasn't who he was labeled to be. So for me, I guess you got to look at the cost analysis of the player versus what you can get for him. Is this the season Zion puts it all together and he is healthy for however many games, and then you move him. I don't know. Like I personally do think that they can play together though. They don't play the same way at all. Like as far as he's saying he would feed Missy the basketball, he can do the same thing as I am. So
yeah.
You know why I hate that comment?
Oh,
because it misses the points so badly about the team just needing talent, right? Like, and if this is what I mean, it goes back to that thing where people are judging this before he ever plays. They've already made up their mind, and in a sense, they don't care what it looks like because of what you gave up to get Queen. That cost is gone. It's done. What happened. We can judge the front office on it, but from a player perspective, or the Spurs saying there's not room on the roster for Castle, Fox, and Harper. Like did Houston when they drafted Reed Shepherd say there's not room on the roster for Reed Shepherd and Van Vliet? And I said, no, you just draft the best player you can possibly get. And then the rest of it will ultimately figure itself out either when it's time to pay people or when someone proves from a basketball perspective they don't fit. But from a talent perspective, yes, they can play together, and you give that a shot. Give it a shot before we start saying that it can't be done. I mean, this is one of the few situations, and again, it's because of what they gave up to get it. Queen was the best player at that point. He was the best player in the draft to get at that point. Like, hard stop. And so don't do this thing where it's like, they can't play together. Gives a shit. We were second. We won like 26 games last year.
21.
None of them can play together. They what do we do? Why do that? That comment drives me crazy, and because it's just ridiculous. Like you have not made the playoffs like outright in God, I don't even know how long now. And we're sitting here saying that like these people can't just go draft the best player you can get and let's figure it out. It's not a next question.
Chaz from Hunter Dickinson.
Next.
Okay.
Shout out to Tedra. I'm not talking about Hunter Dickinson.
Shout out to Tedra. Looking for more comments. Okay, Cleve. I mean, y'all do be saying Zion is so good he can carry a team to the playoffs by himself, but he never plays.
That's what I was wanting to.
I don't know if I understand the context of the question necessarily, because I don't think anyone's ever said
Green.
that.
We was talking about
Willie Green.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody ever said that though. I think Zion gives you the best chance to be the best team you could possibly be under Willie Green. I think Zion's one of the players who are Willie Green proof. I think Queen is one of the guys who's Willie Green proof. Trey, Herb, some of those dudes are Willie Green proof when you talk about maximizing what they do well. Now, if you want someone to make up for your shortcomings, like for me, again, the front court doesn't have a lot of shooting, and neither does the backcourt. So I think that's something they still really need to address this offseason. Do I think Willie Green is going to create easy looks for his guys? No, I don't. On those nights where Trey is out or this person is out or Herb is out, do I think Willie Green is going to come up with this scheme to blitz the opposing team's best player and run guys off the line and make them give up the basketball? No, I don't think Willie Green is going to operate as an equalizer whatsoever. But I do think, as it currently stands, and we'll talk about this more in the later segment, the teams that the Pelicans were about in the same tier with haven't gotten better. To take anything away from this offseason, that's one thing I think you could be a little enthused about. Like the Kings haven't really gotten better. Memphis hasn't gotten better. You could argue Memphis got a little worse. Like certain teams just haven't gotten better. That Utah, Phoenix, like certain teams that the Pelicans were like, we kind of in the same group here when healthy, I think the Pelicans have made some improvements while those other teams haven't.
So good segue into this, Jarrett. If Zion stays healthy, I asked this question a couple of days ago. Just say Zion plays 70 games. There were a lot of interesting comments. It ranged from 30 wins to 55 wins, which was kind of crazy. Current roster. Say DeJounte comes back December, January. Current roster. Zion Williamson plays 70+ games. How many wins do you see this team? We're doing the same exercise again, Lito. How many wins do you see this team getting?
Jesus Christ.
55 was
listen, I'd speculate between 40 and 50, but the caveat is it'd be a truly exciting team to watch. Hopefully by then Willie is gone. People in the stands gonna be throwing up Z's like Zopound Z's like Zion. They're gonna be doing like this.
Zopound Zion.
That's what it's gonna look like. Hopefully Jordan Poole is, released off the shackles of the Wizards, and the idea of Draymond punching him is not in his mind anymore. It'll be super exciting, but I think it's probably on the lesser end of 40 than it is closer to 50.
Hey, buddy, let me tell you this. The shackles of Willie Green are way worse than being punched in the face and playing for the Wizards.
That's why I like the idea of a Jordan Poole, though, man. Because, watching Jordan Poole last season, that's a dude who kind of had the swagger back. And also, I kind of feel like them dudes, I think Willie might have been on his way out when Jordan Poole was there. Or Willie might have already been gone. But he played with Aaron Miles already. And I think Willie has so little respect on the team that the dudes like Trey, I don't even fuck what they got to say. Zion, I don't even fuck with. I hardly work here. Then you got Poole, who really he was a madman in Golden State. I think this is a very Willie. I do think they're building more of a Willie Green proof team. For that, I will give Joe some credit.
Ross, Zion plays 70+ games.
Before I answer that,
okay,
I have chuckled myself a few times about Willie Green gonna hate Jordan Poole. I don't know if they spend time together. He's gonna hate Jordan Poole. If Zion plays 70 games, I don't. I struggle. I don't think it's a 500 team. I'll give them 41 wins. We'll call it 500 at best.
You think 70? Think if the roster as is, I think they go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, okay, roster as is, we're in the 40 to 50, 40 lower 40s is what everyone's really saying. I don't disagree.
The roster is too incomplete right now. Right. That's why I'm
what's the one move
that
that can get them to 46, 47 wins? Is there a move, Jarrett? I don't.
You go ahead, Bob.
Just firing Willie is the move. that truly would change your perspective.
That truly would kind of
okay, cool.
On the real, I think that's worth at least 10 more wins, but at minimum. No, I think because again, when I went back to this stats,
this roster can't win. 50 games.
Bro,
Scott, this roster fully healthy cannot win 50 games.
No. This is what I mean. I don't mean 10. It's in context, right? For example,
I got it. Yeah.
For what was it? The year before last. They were all in 24. And look, they had 12 blown double-digit leads. They had a coach that could just adjust a little bit, right? You probably win more of those games than you lose. Not saying you're going to win them all, but someone who could be the equalizer on some nights, that's probably, or a guy who knows when to call a timeout when the other team's on a 16-0 run. A guy knows when to call a timeout to advance the ball. A guy just a competent.
See, now you're starting to piss me off now.
These
little things, man.
But to Ross's point, I still feel like, again, this roster has some front court and backup point guard issues. So if you address the shooting in the backup point guard position, I'll give them between 40. I'll give them between 43 and 50 wins.
The fact that y'all think this roster can win 50 games is like
I think it's talented. I think it's a talented roster, Ross. I think it is.
You think so? But in like I get
where
in comparison
in comparison to what because
now that's because Ross. I think Ross presents a really good question, right? Because I look at some of the teams that you play, let's say 4 times in a regular season, right? If I play the Kings, I hate showing the Kings like this, but in my mind, that's 4 wins. That's 4 wins. Like, but and things could change. But also, this is in the context of, let's say you address some of your weak spots. Like Ross, for example, what do you think the weak spots are on this roster? Let's say health aside.
I think your guard play is like borderline atrocious.
Yep.
I truly do. And I struggle to, like, when you go look at teams, like our guard play is going to be bad. And that is, I don't mean that as disrespect. Like, I think there's a place for Jordan Poole on this team, 100%. But like, Jordan Poole is not, like a plug and play all-star guard or something. He's not close to that. You've got DeJounte who's out, right? And he wasn't playing very good when he was in last year. Herb Jones, I don't know, like, is he even a shooting guard, period? And can he shoot anymore? Like, what the huge question mark. Fears. I'm as optimistic about Fears as I've been about a Pelican draft pick in a real long time. He's a rookie guard. Historically, rookie guards in the NBA, not going to lead to a lot of wins. I think this backcourt is bad by NBA by like NBA playoff standards. Do they have potential? Of course. But when you start comparing it to the 50-win teams and their guards, guys, this is a bad one.
I think it depends on, like, for me, I think Zion will be playing a lot of guard this year.
Fair enough.
So I consider him as a member of the backcourt.
Okay.
I think Jordan Poole is at minimum as good as CJ, right?
Yeah. So I think they're similar. I don't.
Yeah, they're similar. Not necessarily saying. I do think Jordan Poole has more upside. CJ was probably more amendable, but he's also a little older, so the defense wasn't that. He couldn't get to the rim quite like he used to. But I think also considering when you go back to that team that was winning those games, yeah, they had some luck placing some teams that were missing some of their better guys with the 49 win season. But I don't think this roster much worse than that roster. Truthfully, I think you just had one could argue that's a little bit better. I think you're, again, though, what I don't like is that you're counting on upside a little bit with Yves Missi. I don't think you really address that starting 4 position. I'm kind of sad to see John Collins go to the Clippers today. I thought if they would have got John Collins, to me, I'm kind of confident in this team going into this season. But for a team that wants to run 2 big lineups, I don't see how you're gonna be able to do that this season. I think they might need to abandon that. And I don't think you see a lot of Jeremiah Fears this year, not just because of Jordan, not just because of Willie Green. I think more so because of skill sets. At this stage in his career, he hasn't shown to be a reliable shooter just yet. He could surprise a lot of us. And that's why when people kind of saying you expect Antonio Reeves to play, I was like, well, you got to consider the skill sets. Because Antonio Reeves is one of your better shooters. He's not going to be handling the ball and, handling distribution and stuff like that. He's going to be in the corner somewhere shooting. Whereas with Fears, you can't necessarily do that. And that's one of the things that kind of gives Jose an edge over him, because Jose is a decent shooter. But I think if you go out and you get like a Malcolm Brogdon, if he's healthy, his shooting, his facilitating, that gives you an edge. You got guys like Amir Coffey still available. They won't cost you much money in the backcourt on the perimeter. Very quality shooter, glue guy, do it all type player. I think there are some avenues for this team to still run out the roster and put forth a decent roster going into next season.
And Justin, and that's why I say that I think as currently constructed, even healthy, you're at 40 wins, because I think this is just a bad shooting team. Like, I don't. I think at the end of the day, if you look at like raw stats for CJ and Poole, they might look similar. They're going to come in a drastically different way. Jordan Poole's is all over the place. And yes, there's going to be some nights where he's incredible, but like he's never had a season that's even remotely the same as CJ from an efficiency perspective. Like, people dislike CJ McCollum. The dude is one of the best shooters in the NBA, like hands down. And Poole ain't that.
Well, now just a little bit of pushback, right? Now I'm not saying Jordan Poole is a marksman necessarily, but he had some very quality efficiency last year on about 9 attempts a game, and I think a lot. I think some of it is,
but you know, and look, and again, I'm not saying he's a bad shooter,
right.
But I'm saying Jordan Poole just as easily this year could shoot 44% from the field and 37% from three as he could shoot 40% from the field and 33% from three. Yeah. Just go look at 2 years ago when that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, like, 2 years prior, he
and if he's
33 and 32, yep.
And so I'm not putting him in a class of shooting with CJ McCollum because he doesn't belong in that class. Just based on experience. And so if that shooting is on the lower end and Herb's shooting doesn't bounce back, and there's still a question mark about Fear's shooting, and we know Zion can't shoot, well, somebody's got to shoot the fucking ball. Like,
someone does have to shoot the ball. Lito, did you have something, Jared? I don't know.
Go first.
You started clapping. I don't know.
What?
You're muted.
I like Jordan Poole, bro. Like I'm a fan of Jordan Poole's game. I think in a lot of ways he's the anti-CJ. In a lot of ways, like we talked about, you know, how prolific of a shooter CJ is, but towards, you know, maybe the middle of the second year of his Pelicans tenure, we kind of saw his handle regress. And Jordan is Jordan as a very good handle, can create. You've seen he was very mature in most of the games that I saw in Washington, where he was doing some facilitating. You know, his shot is what it is. Like, he's one of those guys. If he sees one go in, he feels like he's on fire. And to be honest, like, that's something this team could use an influx of.
He's a psychopath.
Yeah,
100%.
man.
And I like that.
I love him. He Willie Green gonna hate him, but I love him even more for that.
That's a good thing. We need more of that. Yeah, Jared.
Yeah, this is why moving on from Willie Green is so important, right? Like, I don't expect the Pelicans to like run a shit ton of offense, right? But if let's say you just go with James Borrego, his ability to create the opportunity super early in the shot clock, that way they don't have to get a set in and look like, no, it's really quick. It's really, hey, we're going side pick and roll real quick, real easy. These are your options. These are your reads. That's it. It's very quick. Willie Green ain't doing that. So at least with the team under James, you'll be able to win games you're not supposed to win, right? And then not lose the games you're not supposed to win, or you're not supposed to lose, right? Like that's the thing that I see this team getting to a possible 41 win season, because they'll need to make that move. And honestly, it's a little bit more freeing, like playing within a framework rather than, you know, just running stupid ass elbow set. Like, hey, bro, mix it up. These are just make it super simple for a super young team, and then that's how you build.
That's how every player wants to play, Jared. You give them certain rules, and then you play with freedom. The one stat I was talking about, guys, I found it. Shout out to depressed Saints fan Zion Zion one season. So he tweeted out probably a couple weeks ago.
I found this earlier. My bad.
That's a crazy graphic. The Pelicans have had 14 losses of 30. This is back in the 49 win season. The Pelicans have had 14 losses of 32 in which they've blown a lead in 10 plus. In 8 of those games, ESPN gave the Pelicans a win probability over 90%. 8 of those games he lost. And the one where we all went insane was game 77 against the Spurs. They were up 15. They gave the Pelicans a 96% chance to win, and they lost by 2.
Shout out to Devontae Graham, man. I think Willie Green is on that Michael Beasley diet. just he just shout out to Willie Green. You know what I'm saying? That was a new products he had on the other day. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? A lot of money going on around here. But and still, look, man. I feel like this team is too far from a quality roster. I do like the Sadiq Bey addition.
Shit, we didn't talk about Sadiq.
Someone's
like we didn't talk about. Yeah, I was gonna cut it off in the next 5 minutes. We'll save that for next couple days. But Sadiq Bey, someone's like, y'all want to talk about Trey? It's like, yeah, we know we got Trey.
I was very happy to see him already shooting. You know what I'm saying? I think again, I would feel a lot better if this team went out and added a quality backup point guard and another wing that can shoot. And it's no knock on a Jose or a Hawkins, but I do think you want to give yourself as much room for error as possible, and some guys who can kind of just add a little bit more know-how. You round out this roster at the 5 position. They're going to be interesting to see how Looney plays, if he starts, if he's coming off the bench. Messi, if you get Messi trending upward, and he's a monster on the boards, that changes a lot as well. So, I ain't too concerned just yet. Not just yet, but it can go the other way.
Let's get a couple more super chats. We'll get out of here. Make sure you smash the like button. An hour and 12 in, about 266 people still left. So appreciate y'all.
What the likes at?
I don't even know, Lito. Someone give us a like. Just hit the like button. Even if you're a bot, just hit the fucking like button. Ezekiel, another $5 super chat while I'm ribbing Zion. I do want to say that I hope he goes crazy, plus stays healthy for the next season. People playing with his name, he got to fight back. Lito, is this it? Make or break for Zion? I can't believe it. I'm saying this and asking this, but you're 7. Is this make or break for his career?
You asking me honestly, or you want me to pod?
I want you to pod. I want you to. Can you pod?
Willie Green still here. There's no way.
You see, I'm not gonna let you slide here because you told me that if he wants to be a superstar, 1, he's got to get a coach fired, and 2, it's more of demanding the basketball, right? At some point, you get like, nah, give me the ball.
But you asked me 2 different things. I told you the road to superstardom. You asked me, is it just make or break for him being a Pelican?
It's fair. Like what?
The bar's so low to be a Pelican, really. Like he.
I absolutely think that them dudes, at least the ones who's still on the team, and probably CJ, if Joe really asked him about Willie Green, they told him the truth. Like it ain't no way they didn't tell him the truth.
CJ, yeah. I'm with you on that, Chaz. And Dennis 133, appreciate the super chat. Who is we'll go Ross and then Jared will close it out here. Who's most likely to get traded in the offseason? Who's most likely to be traded by the deadline? So we'll go Ross offseason, we'll go Jarrett deadline. Good question.
So like in the offseason, like right now or next
This would technically be the offseason.
Right now.
We're in the offseason.
Well, I mean, I think we all would have said CJ. That already happened. I mean, if somebody else is going to get traded, I guess I still say Herb. I mean, I think that was my one of, I said him and CJ whenever we asked this question at the end of the season. So I guess I'll still say Herb. I mean, there's not really that many people left to trade. I mean, if you can trade Hawkins, go ahead and do it.
Jared, who's most likely to be traded by the deadline?
Deadline for me is actually Herb. Right now, it's Jose. Right now, it's Jose and possibly Hawkins if you can combine those. But yeah, that's too many small guards. Just
way too many. Last question. Appreciate the super chat, Jesse. Chaz was listed Pels capable of scoring 50 points the other day. He didn't mention Bay, who scored 51.
Yeah, shout out to Sadiq Bey. I think he did that in Detroit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
another Detroit guy by way of the DMV. Shout out to Coach Jody Meeks, also former Piston assistant coach Jody Meeks, great assistant coach Greg Monroe. Hey, I can dig it, man. You know, I hope Sadiq Bey bounces back. Again, he was on his way to getting paid. I can't understate this. Atlanta was getting spooked because they was like, oh shit, now we got to pay this guy, and he got hurt. So, but I think Sadiq Bey can ball.
Yeah, he was a good play. Speaking of 50 balls, Corey Brewer had a 50-point game.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that against? Who was that?
I don't know. I know he was with Minnesota.
Yeah, with Minnesota. But
that's crazy. I'd lose money on that.
I don't understand.
Like on that
betting it.
I just wouldn't have thought Corey Brewer scored 50.
Him and Andre Miller. Like, why does Andre Miller have a 50-point game?
Damn.
Hey man, chill out, bro.
I'm saying though, bro, like Andre Miller played like the middle-aged man at the Y when he was young.
Cooking folks.
You got another former Piston, Charlie Villanueva. I think he had 50.
Charlie,
sure, no way, Chaz.
Charlie
Villanueva had a
50-point game. I think he had that 50-point game.
I know he was with the Bucks.
Dumars gave him the bag after he scored 50. Right? It was like he had like one game.
I'm about to spell fucking vanilla wafers. I don't know how to spell this man last name.
What's Zion career high?
50-point game.
Yep. Zion's had to have a 40-point game.
It was.
Yeah.
Where's Bukush, that guy?
Hold on. No, my
Bukush,
bad. He had 48 points against the Bucks.
Who?
Charlie Villanueva. I think he's with the Raptors. Yeah, he's with the Raptors. 48. No cigar, brother.
Here's the thing. Zion doesn't take enough shots to get to 40.
How many pool parties? How many 50 balls?
40. Zion had 43.
Yeah.
You know what's the weirdest thing about Zion's career, bro? It's the weirdest thing.
That he averages 35 games a year across 6 seasons?
Well, that's the saddest thing. But this also ties into that as well. Dude
45
has like been 2 rebounds away from triple doubles, or like he plays another 3 minutes, he'll probably get 50 points. It's all kind of weird shit, and it's just like, I pull him out. What are you doing? Like,
wait. Last thing. Wait. Hold up, Chaz. Bring up, Jared. Go ahead. Bring up that graphic, Chaz. Go ahead, Jared.
This 43-point from Zion was that game was fire.
That's the one when he was hitting the threes and acting up.
And it was competitive. Like going into the fourth, like the Super King was going crazy. Good time.
Motherfuckers scored 40 in the play.
This graphic to me is crazy, right? So paint field goal attempts per game in the regular season. If you look at everybody besides RJ Barrett, all playoff teams. Every single one was a playoff team.
Toronto could be a playoff team this year.
Think so?
I think so. In the East.
Smash the like button. Hour 20. Appreciate y'all. I think we're going again live Wednesday. Appreciate all the sponsors that support the show, all the members. Sign up if you want to support the show. Membership.
Appreciate y'all.
So schedules will be a little weird this week. I know we play. Was it Thursday? We play Thursday at like 2:30. I think we're gonna go live right after at like 5. Then Saturday is gonna be up in the air. We play Portland 7:30, but we will be live Sunday night.
What time we play Thursday again?
2:30 Central, so 3:30 your time.
I gotta find me a legal stream.
No, it's on it's gonna be on ESPN or NBA.
I still gotta find a stream.
You have your rabbit ear?
These hard times right now.
You don't have your rabbit ear still?
Oh yeah, I got my.
Gotta get the fucking rabbit ear.
You might have to alter change the angle on them.
Take a bobby
hold
pin.
Up. Before we get off the stream, Lito, there's a someone had requested a video. You and Chris to do. Who's it on again? There was a video. It was a couple days ago. Someone tweeted that y'all need to be doing a video on some player.
I think Peavy.
Micah Peavy. Is that what it is?
Peavy. And Denzel asked us to do a Misi off-season workout video. So
that's what it was. It was. You got work to do, man.
So I want, bro. We got y'all.
Yo, I want y'all to Google this rapper. I remember this dude when I was a little kid. His name is True Life, right? Google True Life. Michael Peavy looks just like fucking True Life. Like this is TRU Life. Google True Life. This dude spitting image.
Jim Jones shook.
Oh yeah. Google.
Shit. All right. See y'all later. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the comments, super chats.
Peace, y'all. Be safe.
We'll watch y'all later. See you.